Hello, Hannah. Soul Dr. Nick here. And today I'd like to talk about my own journey through diagnoses of ADD or ADHD, attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity disorder, depression, post traumatic stress, anxiety, suicidal ideation, and where I'm at in my current set of theories, beliefs, without making this universal. And that's a big piece of it. I imagine that there's so many different theories because it's not a set in stone thing. And if anything, I'm reminded of myself that all the truths that are out there are not absolute truths that I know of yet. Relative truths is how I see it. And I say this especially because for those who actually know my family and my background, my dad's also a physician. He specializes in ADHD, and I think he's doing a wonderful job from his framework, and he's supporting a lot of people. And even though what I say next may sound like it's in opposition of the current medical model or Western medical model, I'm not trying to be in opposition of anything. What my intent is to share my own framework that I've gotten. And if it serves you, fantastic. And if it doesn't, that's okay. And so for myself, going through life and junior high and high school and university and medical school, I had trouble focusing, concentrating, and I would not have made it through medical school and gotten my MD if it wasn't for the diagnosis of ADD and the medications that I was using. And I've been through many of them, whether it's Ritalin, Dextrin, Concerta, Vyvanse, others, Adderall. And they served me at the time. Couldn't concentrate, couldn't focus, couldn't study for an exam, was able to do it enough to pass. And going through all of that, such anxiety. I still have currently sometimes nightmares of being back in medical school, thinking about that exam. How do I not fail it? How do I not screw up? And then remembering at my lowest 4 years in residency, being depressed, catatonic, suicidal, feeling post-traumatic stress because I was like, so many things had happened. And then now coming to here over a decade later and recognizing that I'm waking up spontaneously every morning from about 3 to 6 a.m. I'm excited to do things. I can be on a master planning for life weekend where I am focused for over 40 hours in 3 days. And I have the ability to pay attention. And part of the gift that I have for people is my presence. I'm able to just stay there with eye contact, focused on what's going on. And I recognize as I was going through this, I'm not sure I have any of these diagnoses right now. I'm not sure if any of them were accurate, so to speak, for me. And I say that because this is the frame I have right now. It doesn't mean I wasn't completely different then. And one of the pieces that is coming up for me is, what if all these symptoms that are coming up that turn into diagnoses are reflections from the body to remind me where I'm at and where I'm out of alignment with who I want to be. And it's so easy to ignore because willpower, desire, taking on other people's values and patterns can make you think I want something, when really I'm not actually going after what I want. And if not now, when? How long do I want to wait and blame others before I live the life that I actually want to live? And how do I own that I don't have to follow the same values as everyone else? In fact, that's part of our uniqueness. Each of us has our own values. I really value, and I know I value it because of the time I spend on it, because of its proximity to me, because of how much I think about it. My own self-care, my own map of consciousness, my own ability to be with. And it's part of the reason I love being in flow. And I recognize that my being in flow is selfish. And in being selfish, I can actually be selfless, because when I'm in flow, I create flow for those around me as well, their own versions of flow. And then second is spending playtime, important time, present time with my biological family, my beloved, my son, my cat. And that extends to my parents and ideally those chosen family that are around me, the Ohana. And that probably includes you because you're listening to this. And then after that, it's really the work that I'm doing, Ohana Sage, Ohana Breath, really awakening the inner sage in each of us, in creating spaces for transformation, transmutation, for actually bring consciousness to the creators, because that's how I see creating a more beautiful world for myself and those I love. And then my fourth value now is looking at financial freedom, intergenerational wealth, because I have a plan not just for this lifetime, but for 1,000 years after I die. And let's keep planning it out. Let's keep dreaming of that bigger future. And let's keep owning that it's okay to step into that financial wealth to be able to fund that. And so coming back again to the attention, to the diagnoses of the body. And what I invite you to do is take a look, where are things at right now for you? There's so many people that are coming to the breaths and other things. They're feeling these emotional challenges. They're feeling these stories, these patterns, these labels that they've taken on. And labels, I find, are a helpful way to find common ground, to discuss. And the trap is when I believe the label to mean something versus asking, what does that mean to you? Right? And for myself, I'm recognizing, at first I was like, I healed from my attention deficit disorder. And then I realized, wait, was that actually the accurate diagnosis to begin with? And how much of it was because I was so good at hiding myself that those symptoms that came out, that's what everyone else could see. And nowadays it's owning the screaming that can happen in my head still, and then being with it, noticing, is this just the story that's coming out? And how is it serving me so that I don't keep living life in that lie? And that kind of goes back to, I just recorded a video about how I can go from the highest of highs, having miracles, magic happen, and then feeling like I'm back the next day in that kind of low cycle, whether it's shame or guilt, and then recognizing that's part of the pattern, the balancing of polarities. And I'm very grateful for Dr. Demartini and his method for seeing that we miss out on the benefits of things often, or miss out on the cost of things because we forget to balance the polarities. So thank you for listening to this extended video. I hope that it resonates for those who get it here. And I remind myself and us again that I don't see this as universal truth. Instead, how do I practice being able to speak the truth that I see, regardless of how it may impact someone else, while also considering the impact as well? Ciao for now.